Hello, and welcome to another episode of Guardians of Geekology. We're your hosts, Corey and Brandon. We'll be taking you through a pop culture journey of wonderment. Last week we talked about the Star Wars trilogies, and as I was reviewing the footage, we talking about things that we never talked about. We didn't write them down.
Why are we doing this? You're killing me.
So we're going to go through that, and then we're going to talk quick about Rob Zombie's Munsters reboot.
Hell yeah.
Kevin Smith's Clerks 3. Watch and react to the new Marvel's Eternals trailer.
Hell yeah.
And then our main topic for today. So, Brandon, if you'd be so kind as to go first. What did you forget to talk about Star Wars the last time?
You know the biggest thing I forgot to talk about? What are your thoughts on Mace Windu still being alive?
I hope to God that he is still alive.
Me too, but...
As with any Star Wars character who is very popular.
Yes.
I hope he pops up. I know people want him to pop up in the Obi-Wan series.
Would be cool.
And, I mean, we see his hand get cut off. We see him get Force lightning. We see him go out the window. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's dead.
No.
I mean,
have you watched any other Star Wars things? Like, you know, as he's falling, he could be like, beat the shit, but also grab onto like a floating car or something like that nearby.
Look at what happened to the Emperor in Return of the Jedi. He got thrown down the shaft and got blown up.
And somehow he came back.
Mm-hmm.
To reiterate.
And,
yeah, that was one thing I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to touch on that because Revenge of the Sith is sick. However,
I know I've seen fan art out there of people's like interpretations of he's got like a dead eye and he's got like a robotic hand and stuff like that. Let's give a shout out to our one person who's following Bill Nye the Science Guy. I don't think it's actually...
Holy crap!
I know, right?
Hey, you never know. You never know. He could be searching through going, hey, let's see what's going on.
And his bow ties.
Hey, we grew up with that, man. He's all...
You didn't write down what you wanted to talk about?
No,
okay.
because I was going to shoot from the hip because I was like, yeah, I remember exactly what I wanted to talk about. But I remember Mace Windu was like the biggest thing I wanted to do. And then...
Shoot from the hip like Han Solo? Sorry.
Hey, he shot first, bro.
He did shoot first.
He did shoot first. Oh, I guess that was something that I wasn't going to cover, but like that brought up something, yeah.
The various different variations of the redoing and Han shooting first, Han shooting at the same time, Han shooting after Greedo, Han shooting... sorry.
Yeah. Oh, there's 15 different versions? Oh, bloody hell. No, I'll stick with the OG.
Well, first off, on my YouTube channel, I posted last week's video we did, and I actually got a new subscriber, and he actually commented on, in our video, we did a Red Skull Marvel Legends action figure review, and he came with the Cosmic Cube. I said that I know in the MCU it's the Tesseract. I don't know what it is in the comics. I just know it's the Cosmic Cube, and we didn't know what the Cosmic Cube did. So, Time and Space Gaming, not that you're watching, but when I post this video on my YouTube channel, hopefully you'll watch it. We're giving you a shout out to Time and Space Gaming. He said the Cosmic Cube grants wishes and warps reality, which makes perfect sense considering in the comics recently the Red Skull used the Cosmic Cube to warp reality to make Steve Rogers and everyone else believe that he's been a member of Hydra the entire time, which pissed off a lot of people. So thanks
shout out to you. Thank you.
Thanks to Time and Space Gaming on that one. So, alright. I got a whole laundry list of stuff.
Alright, let's get into it.
I did not shoot from the hip.
Attaboy.
They're in no particular order.
No.
I just wrote down as I was thinking of stuff. So, first we'll start with Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
I believe it was a missed opportunity to bring back Hayden Christensen as Force Ghost Anakin to talk to Kylo Ren instead of having Han Solo come back as a Force projection. Kylo Ren seemed to have an unhealthy obsession with Darth Vader,
Yeah.
Especially saying in the first one he'll finish what he started, which we never figure out.
And he had the helmet on display.
He had the
That's
bird
a good
helmet
call.
on display.
Yeah. And then they just kind of tossed that out the window. Yeah.
Apparently, in the novels, um, they never told Ben Solo that Darth Vader turned back to the light and became Anakin. They like never told him. You think that'd be an important plot point or important point? Like, hey, your grandpa, yeah, he turned out to be good in the end, you know. So
yeah. You can tell he's an idiot kid because he's just running off of it like, oh. Yeah, that's a good point. That's kind of a big hole.
And I'll also mention quick the whole Maz Kanata having Luke's lightsaber and Han asking where he got or she got it from. That story for another time. And 2 minutes later, or 2 movies later, we still have no idea. Okay, this is the big one. I'm gonna rant about this one. Okay, Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine.
Okay.
When we see him in Return of the Jedi, he looks old. He's wrinkled. He's hunched over. He's got a walking stick. He's like all frail and stuff. He's like the Dark Mirror version of Yoda, who's old and ancient, an ancient being, walks with a stick. But then when he turns and uses the Force, he's on point with the Force. I really thought that when we would see Palpatine, we see him in Episode 1, he's maybe like in his late 30s, early 40s. Kind of, he's not spry, but he's young. And then we see him 10 years later in Attack of the Clones. He's older. And but then when he receives his Palpatine look, it's the result of Mace bouncing the Force lightning back to him and it reflected off his face. I had always hoped that it would be revealed that Palpatine has always been old and he's been using the dark side of the Force to hide his true appearance. And then when he finally revealed himself to Anakin in Episode 3, he'd like show his true face and he'd turn into Emperor and be like, I think the whole Force lightning reflection thing is kind of a cop out. A cop out. And another theory I heard about that is actually Palpatine was supposed to be two separate people. It was supposed to be like bad Palpatine and like good Palpatine. Like the good guy was running the Senate, and Palpatine, the evil guy, was like pulling strings from behind the scenes. That would have been an interesting turn. There's a fan theory that Han Solo is the one that killed himself in The Force Awakens because Snoke wanted Kylo Ren to kill Han Solo, but Kylo Ben probably wouldn't have gone through with it. So, because you actually never see who actually ignites the lightsaber, you see them both holding it.
Han Solo does.
Yeah,
I think.
Maybe it's him that
ignites.
ignites.
Well, because Kylo says thank you.
Yeah.
Apparently
Han did it himself because if Kylo couldn't do it,
he didn't seem super surprised, did he? Though? Like it was kind of a little bit of a shock, face, but it was more just kind of like, oh shit, that hurt.
Yeah.
My boy. Peace.
Yeah.
And then dies.
Because if Kylo wouldn't have done it, then Snoke would have punished Kylo. So Han was basically saving his son from punishment from the bad guy.
That part, man, I was living the nostalgia, riding that
wave. I knew it was coming,
and then he died. And
then when it happened, I was like,
yeah, it was just like, yeah. It's like, man, the one true light person past the past the original trilogies that I truly cared about. Come on.
And I'm gonna rage you here. The one thing you haven't talked about, and I'm very surprised you haven't talked about, and haven't even touched base upon it. The thing you hate the most, Captain Phasma.
Oh, that useless character, right? Yeah, no, that's a good call. You know what? I forgot about her. She's unfortunately a forgettable character. I mean, Jesus, what is she good for? What does she do?
Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones.
Awesome, fantastic.
Brianna Tarth.
Also, kind of a useless character,
Captain
but cool.
Phasma in a Star Wars movie. You're like, okay,
she's dope. Yeah.
In the first movie, she has some dialogue. You think she dies?
She seems like a total badass. She's like the female incarnation of freaking Boba Fett. So you're like, dude, I'm all aboard. This character's gonna be dope as shit. And then she gets held at gunpoint and forced into a garbage chute.
Mm-hmm. You thought she got blown up with Starkiller Base.
You would have thought so.
But apparently she survived and she came back.
That's another reason why I didn't like Rian Johnson. Because that son of a bitch was like, oh yeah, she's gonna come back. She's gonna be bigger than ever. She's gonna be the best you've ever seen. She's gonna be awesome. Maybe not those words exactly, but he promised that there was gonna be more screen time and she was gonna get her due. She was gonna be really cool. Well, guess what? She fought for 30 seconds. Got the little thing blasted off that showed her eye. It was like, okay, cool. So she is actually human because they kind of made her robotic. So you thought maybe she was part robotic. So it's like, okay, she's got the human face, and then bye bye, you fell into the fire. What's up,
If you'd
G?
be so kind as to introduce our first topic of discussion.
Oh, you mean Rob Zombie and the Munsters reboot, sir? Yes, I'm very excited. And you said you've watched the Munsters back in the day.
I think I've caught it on
Well, I guess back in the day doesn't really count anymore, but
like old TV.
yeah.
I like the concept of
A family of
monsters, and then like a normal girl.
yeah, and she's just like totally cool. They're like, oh my god, monsters. She's like, sup.
I almost like it better than the Addams Family in some small way,
Okay,
shape, or
all right.
form.
Let's not say things we regret, all right? Because I was just gonna say, I'm like, you know what I love about the Munsters? It's the tie between them and the Addams Family. So that's why I was like, all right, hold up. Which that has a sequel coming out too, which I'm excited for. So the fact that it's gonna be Rob Zombie, I mean, what do we expect? Because don't forget, he's done Halloween. He's remade Halloween, which that was always a gory horror type-esque whatever the hell.
I did like his interpretation of Halloween movies. I like that he added a bit of more backstory to
Like
Michael
more
Myers.
humanity to him.
Like you get a sense of why Michael Myers is so effed up.
Yeah.
And, like that. And of course, Tyler Mane cast as Michael Myers was huge. Michael Myers.
That was a very good Michael Myers. Yeah, it was very intimidating. I liked the first one. The second one was hella boring to me. Like the second one just wasn't good. Part 2 was bleh.
It's like they made it just to make it because people wanted a part 2.
Yeah,
and
and like because they had to finish it off with like the whole
Right.
Dr. Loomis arc and blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Me personally, like I'm kind of bored of serial killers these days. Like the old Freddy Kruegers. Like if you want to watch those, watch through like 1 through maybe like 3 or 4, and you're good. Like Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Jason Goes to Space.
Jason Goes to Space. Jason Goes to the beach.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, give it like a year or something. I'm sure
Jason
somebody will
at
make
the
it.
supermarkets.
Like Jason Voorhees is literally turning into like Ernest.
Or Jason at the hardware store. That's where he gets all
There
his
you
stuff.
go. Exactly.
What you here for, Jason? Yeah, I'm here for a new machete.
Need to chase some teenagers. Everything Rob Zombie has done is always got like a dark undertone of like Satanism and very dark elements, which fits him perfectly. But then he's also kind of like taking things to left field a little bit too, such as like
Right.
Halloween. Like he added some weird backstory. I shouldn't say weird. Some different backstory. It's not weird, but different backstory and stuff. But he's also done like Lords of Salem, which that one's crazy. House of a Thousand Corpses, the 3 from Hell, Devil's Rejects. I just flip flop those two, but yeah, everything the guy has done has been like dark and.
I think if he goes too far off base with this, people won't like it. So he's trying to stick as close to it as he possibly can.
That's my thought too. So my thing is like, okay, so how true to the original do you think it'll be? Because if we have Herman Munsters squishing somebody's freaking head into a pulp, and then I can't think of the grandpa's name, but Grandpa Vampire, doing
Grandpa
somebody
Vampire,
in.
it's Grandpa Munster.
All right, fair enough. Him doing somebody in, it's gonna be like, huh, this is an interesting, because the whole idea behind the show, right, is that they're monsters in suburbia. And,
Yeah, it's more comedic.
yeah, it's more comedic, and they don't
mean-
like tear people apart.
You probably could have more dark undertones, but don't
You
make it
could.
too dark.
Yeah.
Like you said, you don't want Herman Munster like going full Frankenstein and be like,
Oh, what's that? You're talking shit? Now your eyeballs in the back of your head. How do you feel, pal? He's been sharing pictures on social media accounts, and
I did see his
the building of the.
Herman Munster head looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And then some other weird stuff going on there. I don't know who's in it though. I haven't seen the cast or haven't bothered with the cast.
From what I read and seen so far, a lot of people were speculating that Sherry Moon Zombie, his wife, would be. Oh my god! I just dropped her name. Lily Munster, and
Okay.
then I just saw an article this morning actually, as I was just kind of double checking some things, see if there was any new pop-ups to bring up. But apparently she's been confirmed. I think
Really?
that's part of like comicbook.com, which I don't really trust anyway. But yeah, apparently she's confirmed as Lily Munster. So I mean, it's very early, but have you seen the actual like pre-production stages or the
Just whatever he's posting
Building.
on his Instagram
Okay.
page.
so like the masks and all that stuff?
And I don't know if it's actually going to be a movie or if it's a TV series.
It's supposed to be a movie.
It's a movie? Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a movie, which is also what I'm a little nervous about because it's like, wonder how that's gonna go, But yeah,
What are we going to talk about next?
Clerks 3, baby!
Yeah. I saw the first one a long time ago. I didn't know what I was watching. First one's kind of like,
It's
like,
kind of a weird,
yeah. And then, of course, I love anything Kevin Smith pops out. And although I have not seen the Jay and Silent Bob reboot yet.
I haven't either. And that's been holding me back because I think Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is like pure gold.
Mm-hmm.
That one is like, that holds like a special place. That's one that like I would quote in my daily day-to-day life. So, sounds a banger. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the reboot either, and I'm actually kicking myself because I'm like, I really should, considering how much I like Kevin Smith, and we saw Jason Mewes within the span of like what, a couple days of each other.
I think a day.
Or maybe it was a day. Yeah, maybe it was a day.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear they're filming Clerks 3 because when we saw Jason Mewes, like, it wasn't happening. Like, they couldn't get everyone back to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He actually said that because audience members like, hey,
yeah,
when are we getting Clerks 3?
He's like, yeah, sorry, man, things are kind of shit. Yeah, it's not
that,
gonna
and
happen.
people thought that Kevin Smith was like backstage and he was gonna like pop out during Jason's set.
Oh.
They said, no, Kevin's not here. Stop asking me.
I mean, if they wanted me to have a heart attack, it would have, that would have been the way to do it.
Although no, when we were standing in line to
Mhm.
go into the club
Mhm.
and just like waiting to get in, just like minding our own business, waiting to get in. And he goes walking by with like, I don't know if it's a security or some like security guys. He's like, "Hey everyone, how you going?" We're like, "Holy crap, it's Jason Mewes,
Holy
right
shit.
there, like 2 feet away from me."
Ah!
And he made some comment about like the name of the restaurant or something like that was in there, and then he like, "See you later, guys." He like went upstairs. Like, okay, that was
Awesome.
interesting.
Such a
When
cool dude.
celebrities don't really like, care about their celebrity status.
Yeah, they just take the time and treat you like a human being,
Mm-hmm.
how they should be treated as well.
Right. It's like when we saw Anthony Daniels at Comic-Con.
Oh, well, piss on you. I've seen Anthony Daniels myself because
And we were waiting in line to get an autograph, and it was like, whatever for an autograph and like an extra fee to like, get your picture taken with
okay,
him.
well, I didn't see him that close.
And then I was like, well, I'm just going to get the autograph because I don't want to pay whatever it was to get a picture too. And as he's signing my Star Wars book, he's like, oh, let's go, like, let's stand over and take a picture too, like, free of charge. I'm like, oh, dude, that's awesome.
Years ago, I saw Star Wars in concert.
Were we at the same one?
We could have been.
Were we
the
at
one
the
in
same...
in Green Bay? Could have been.
We might have been
where
at
he
the
was going,
same
hey,
concert.
hey,
Where
and
he was wearing the gold.
Yeah,
vest
and he
with
was
that.
doing the whole.
If we were at the same one,
you son of a bitch.
God, it had to have been
That was quite some years ago.
10 years ago, maybe.
Oh, it'd probably be longer than that.
I have the pictures on my Facebook page.
You have to look
them
because
up later.
it might be longer than that. Because they were doing the whole orchestral thing, and you were like in the
Laser
Gamblers
Light
Arena.
Show.
Yeah.
I heard about that concert in an old Star Wars magazine I had, and when I heard it was coming to Green Bay, I was like, Trish, we gotta go to this because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And they had like the displays of the costumes and props and everything like that. And that's where the lady. I went off to take some pictures of some stuff, and then there was a lady who must have been with her boyfriend or something. I was like, hey, look, it's Han Solo and Kryptonite. And everyone standing around was like,
holy shit.
But that's
I think I remember you
hilarious.
telling me that story.
That's hilarious. If we were at the same concert, that's
That'd be
going to be
wild.
funny.
So, so Clerks 3, very excited. Clerks 2 was fantastic. Clerks 1 is great. It's a little risque, but the best part of Clerks 1 is the part where the guys... I can't think of his name. Not Dante, the other guy.
Randall.
Wait. No, I was thinking of Dante. Not Randall.
Okay.
I was thinking of Dante. Him and his girlfriend like get into it or whatever, and he's like, he's like, just get out of here. Just go. Suck somebody else off, And then this guy like starts following her out, and he's like, no, not you. Come back in here. Get in here. Get away from her. And then like Clerks 2, I mean, wow.
There's a new movie coming to the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel's Eternals.
So
Do you
it's
know anything about the Eternals?
The Eternals? Not really.
Well, fortunately for you, thanks to Marvel Wikipedia, Marvel's wiki page.
Oh, I thought you were going to say some modern Marvel. Okay, anyway.
So I copy and pasted a little blurb here about the Eternals. They're obviously they're fictional, duh.
No, they're not.
They're real.
They're real people.
They're humanoids who were apparently created by, well, we've seen the Celestials pop up in the MCU. Obviously, Ego, Star-Lord's dad, was a Celestial. We've seen like clips of Celestials before. So apparently they were created by the Celestials to defend.
Galacticus?
Galactus is, I believe, a Celestial.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. They were created to defend the Earth from, bad threats. Which apparently, why people are like, okay, if they were supposed to protect the Earth from threats, why weren't they there? With Thanos was like,
no shit. When he was like taking over,
where are you?
What the hell?
Know?
That's a flaw.
And,
wouldn't Dormammu count technically too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all these threats are like, it's like. And I think even in the first trailer, I don't know if you watched the first trailer or not.
No,
like, we've decided not to interfere with things that happen on Earth until now. It's like, okay, what's so important that's happening? You have to, like, now is the time you're gonna, like, step in.
Well, let's be real. When Thanos comes around, where the hell is everybody? Screw the Avengers. Where's everybody, my guy? All right.
And then apparently there's like another race called their counterparts, the Eternals counterparts called the Deviants, which are the bad guys.
Sounds deviant.
All I know is who's in the movie. You got Angelina Jolie. You got Selma Hayek. I can never think of the actor's name. I'll just call him Rob Stark because I can never remember.
Yeah. Just forget it.
And then Kit Harington. So you got 2 Game of Thrones people in this movie.
That's dope.
We're going to watch and react to the Eternals trailer. This is the first time we are watching it. Alright.
5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe.
Oh, Thanos.
But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy
Cool.
for the emergence to begin.
Even cooler.
How long do we have? 7 days.
Is this the ring?
If I see Galactus, if Galactus pops up, I'm gonna lose it.
I'm gonna run away.
We came here 7,000 years ago.
Yeah, they're also immortal. Did I say they're immortal? They're apparently
You might have.
semi-immortal or something like that.
What the?
Okay then.
Huh. Oh, okay.
Why didn't you guys ever fight Thanos? Or any war, all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants were involved.
Okay, there's the name drop of the Deviants. Ooh, a Celestial. Not Galactus, obviously.
Oh, right.
Unless they totally redesigned him.
We need to find the others.
We haven't seen some of them for centuries.
That looks familiar.
Hello.
This is what the end of the world looks like. At least we have front row seats.
You know what's never saved the planet? Your sarcasm.
Hello.
Burn.
Go.
Never heard of her.
I've loved these people since the day we arrived.
I like how they're afraid not to like adapt the comic costumes for movies, no matter how dorky
Yeah.
they look.
You're protected.
There he
Okay.
is. There's Jon Snow. I can't remember his name.
Kumail. Yeah, I can't remember.
Any of them.
Okay, we get it. He has eye lasers. They shot like 3 times.
You've built the perfect safe house. Well, what's this even made of? Vibranium?
Well.
Oops.
Fall collection. IKEA.
Huh.
That classic
Okay.
goofiness. That's pretty hype.
Huh.
I think, at least.
Will I see it in theaters?
Yeah, you will.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's gonna be on.
Oh, that's what it is. Kumail.
Okay.
He's actually really funny. He's a cool dude.
trivia time, Brandon.
All right, let's do it, dog.
Trivia time.
Let's do it, G.
When you're at your next social gallery with your friends and family, and they're all standing around talking about their stock portfolios, you can be like, "Well, that's all fine and good, but did you know?" And impress them with your newly acquainted knowledge, unless you already knew this stuff. I don't know.
I'll let you know.
Spaceballs.
Okay, well,
There's an
Let's go.
animated series on YouTube.
there is.
Very adult oriented.
Very.
I watched it. I watched the episode. I was like, wow, I feel kind of dirty watching this.
Isn't that great? I feel like a little piggy rolling around in the mud. It's awesome.
I think it's interesting that
Because even Mel Brooks has
Mel
something to
Brooks
do
came
with it,
back
too.
and
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so that was interesting. Someone I used to work with at one of my old jobs told me about it, so I checked that out. I was like, okay, this is interesting.
So there you go. That's trivia.
One of our followers said, hey, don't beat up the stock market for my stock market comment. Mel Brooks had asked permission from Lucasfilm to make Spaceballs because he kind of felt like guilty about parodying Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think at that time too, George Lucas was a little on the high horse, right? Where he was just like,
Because Return of the Jedi just came out.
yeah, because like he doesn't own like a trademark to lightsabers, but I think when he first heard about lightsabers being used, he was like pissed off. He was like, "Excuse me, you're gonna use a lightsaber?" And he was like, well, "Not really. It's gonna be like a Schwartz thing. It's gonna be like a little beam of light, not a lightsaber."
Lucasfilm said, yeah, sure, go ahead, on the condition that you don't make any merchandising for the movie.
But he made it in the movie.
He made fun of it in the movie.
You know, but I'll start right now before we go too far into Mel Brooks. You know what the best part about Mel Brooks films are? Self-awareness.
Yes.
I am super into self-awareness. Like video games that are self-aware, love it. TV shows, movies,
Have
love
you
it.
seen Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner?
No, but I know they make the joke in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's my next thing.
Oh, okay. I'll let you do it then.
Famously, Kevin Costner tried doing an English accent for Robin Hood,
Do it.
but couldn't do it. So in
So
Robin Hood
good
Men in
American.
Tights, I'm the only Robin Hood to speak with an English accent.
Maha. Do you know what other movie? I can't remember how. Is it Elvis? Carrie Elvis?
Yeah, it's Elvis.
Elvis.
Princess
Okay.
Bride.
Princess Bride is a
various
big one.
other
Which
stuff.
you know what one that I always forget he's in, and I forget because he's A, such a dick, and B, he gets tragically killed. But then you're kind of like Twister. I forget he's
Oh
in Twister.
yes, he's on the
He's
opposing
the
team.
asshole. Yep, he's the guy that's like taking all the credit and yada yada yada, and then gets tells his
He's-
driver to drive into the tornado. Like yeah.
Because
Hey.
he was recently in Stranger Things.
Oh, was he?
He was like in last season he was like the mayor of the town or
What are you
something.
talking about?
Peter Boyle, the monster from Young Frankenstein, who would obviously
Yes.
go on to fame playing the dad in Everybody Loves Raymond,
Yep.
was a monk.
Really?
Yes.
Now
But then
is
he
some trivia.
he lost the calling or lost like I don't want to do this anymore, so he got into acting.
I suppose you can only stare at a plant for so long. Not bashing monks.
Yeah, we already bashed the stock market, or I bashed the stock
Yeah.
market. We don't want to bash.
We're not here to piss
too.
people up. Well, some of us aren't.
Fire Talk's my boy.
And now you just.
And the sets from Young Frankenstein, like the lab, like Frankenstein's lab, are the same ones from the Frankenstein movie, Universal's Frankenstein movie.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that I did not know.
They're like, hey, we need to make like a Frankenstein's lab. We need to make props.
Why not
And
use
they're
the real
like,
one?
hey, these exist. You know?
Oh, Mel Brooks.
John Wayne and Richard Pryor were both offered parts in Blazing Saddles. John Wayne turned it down because he didn't want to ruin his serious Western guy reputation. But he did say he'd be the first in line to buy tickets for it. And Richard Pryor, I believe, was offered the role of the sheriff, but he was
Richard Pryor's the same guy that was in See No Evil, right?
yes.
Or Hear
It
No
would have
Evil,
been
See No Evil.
it would have been Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder's maybe first collaboration in a movie, as opposed to the one I think you just
That one?
mentioned.
Yeah. Where...
There's
Can you see this? I can't see, asshole.
There's varying stories about the Richard Pryor thing. Either like they couldn't find him because he was like on like some weird drug bender, or he was like auditioned high or something like that.
Oh, really?
I was looking it up, like varying things, and like okay, I don't know what to believe, but yeah, that would have been an interesting thing.
Drugs, man. Don't do them. Don't ruin your life. Lame.
Have you seen the movie The Elephant Man? With John Hurt and Anthony Hopkins.
No, but I know all of it.
But you know of who
Yeah.
John America is, the situation, like his
Yeah,
deformities and
his
stuff
actual,
like that.
the human realization or reality, yeah.
Mel Brooks was an uncredited producer on that film. But he wanted to remain uncredited because if his name were in the credits in any way, people would have thought like it was like a funny Mel Brooks movie. And obviously
Smart.
he didn't want to take that away. It's common knowledge now, but at the time,
Yeah.
they're like, let's go see the Elephant Man. Haha. Oh,
Mel Brooks
this
is in here.
actually
Oh, this
kinda-
is depressing
This
as
is
hell.
dark as hell. What the hell?
Yeah.
I feel sad.
I guess it's the lyrics I pay attention to.
So, yeah, our main topic for today is Mel Brooks.
I don't.
Comedic mastermind, comedic genius. Obviously, they couldn't make movies like that anymore.
And yet, all of them are epic.
We each have our own list of our top 5 Mel Brooks movies. We have not seen each other's lists.
Nor will we.
We're gonna go from number 5 to number 1. List the movie. What you like about the movie.
Favorite quote, and then
When you first
when
saw
you
the
first saw it.
movie, and your favorite quote from the movie. So.
Well, my number 5 rather is The Producers. So it's The Producers. That one because my favorite. Okay, so my favorite part about it, right off the bat, Nathan Lane, hands down.
Okay, so
Nothing else about it.
the
Nathan Lane.
remake of The Producers, to be more specifically, not the original one with Gene Wilder and. Did you even know about that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one with Nathan Lane and whoever else is in there. I can't remember who the other guy is.
I don't remember.
You don't remember either?
Probably whatever the Mel Brooks one is.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's not even the one with Nathan Lane, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay.
Right? Because Gene Wilder sounds more like the Mel Brooks thing. Oh shit, did I mix them up? Whatever.
No, I
The
think,
Producers,
I think
regardless.
I think he did both. I think he might have produced both.
Oh no, is when I checked it, I saw the remake and I was like, nope, don't go to that, and I went to like the original one because I was kind of like looking for a favorite
the
quote.
original one is the Gene Wilder one.
Okay, so then that one.
Okay.
Whatever the one Mel Brooks actually directed.
Okay.
That
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So my mistake. So yeah, okay. So then, screw you, Nathan Lane. Just kidding, love you, man. I don't know. The best thing about it was like it was something different.
Mhm.
Like watching all the other Mel Brooks films up until that point, it was something different. And actually, technically, I didn't even know it existed. So I'll go right into the fact of like when I first saw it, because there's like what do I like about it? It's different. That's my thing. When I first saw it, so Beck and I years ago, this is like out of a freaking Cheerios box or some shit, or it was some cereal box. They had a thing where Voodoo was launching.
Oh wow.
Right?
Okay.
So the app Voodoo was launching, and they were like, "Hey, we're just launching this thing. We have like 6 movies to choose from. If you sign up with us for your first time, we'll give you 3 movies for free. We got Space Jam, the only Space Jam that exists. Take that, nerd." I forgot what the third one was. It was kind of like a throw-in. I think it was like it was that movie with Charlie Sheen with the aliens or whatever.
Arrival. I believe.
I think it was Arrival. I think that was our other one. And then The Producers. And The Producers, I knew nothing about. I'm like, this sounds interesting. It looks interesting. I have no idea what the hell this is. So I looked into it just a little bit or whatever, and I was like, oh, Mel Brooks film. All right. So I picked it just based on that. So I'd never seen it, never heard of it, whatever. That's when I first saw it. Whenever that was a thing. So I mean, yeah, that's basically the story of like The Producers. Why I wasn't really sure, but however, my favorite quote from the movie, and I have them here because not that I can't recite them from memory, but I want to make sure it's verbatim. I don't want to be like it's Max, like the main character Max, the guy that's like going through the hardship or whatever. He's like, we got the wrong play, the wrong director, the wrong cast. Where did we go right? And that is such a good quote because A, it's funny, and B, it also kind of like, that's the whole idea of the movie, is like, everything's going wrong, so what could go right? So, yeah, so mine is The Producers. I thought that was actually a really decent movie.
Alright.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is History of the World Part 1.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Favorite quote? It's good to be a king. I guess if I'd really have to pick a favorite scene, but not like really favorite scene, just to see maybe that sticks out in my head more than anything, is when they're seating Jesus and all his disciples at the table, on one side of the table, and then like hold still or whatever. It's like, but other than that, there's nothing really that sticks out in my head. I first came to know its existence.
Keep talking.
That's bright.
Yep, it's really bright. Damn it,
VH1 used to do like the I Love the 70s documentaries and stuff like that, and that popped up on there.
Now it's in your eyes. Keep talking.
And so I became aware of its existence from watching those documentaries. Like, oh, that looks like a fun movie. I'll try to, I'll give that a crack and see what it's like. And yeah, not too bad. It's low on the list because obviously it's, not really like
nothing crazy.
Nothing like, oh my god, I have to watch it on a regular basis. I don't think I've even seen it in like 10 years. So.
It's not like what our probably top 2 is.
Right. Okay. Number 4.
Number 4 is Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Okay.
And that one, I mean, I don't know. My favorite thing about it is it's the self-awareness. It's the spoof. Mm-hmm. It's the spoof of like, so, whatever. Like I grew up on watching like Disney's Robin Hood, like with the little fox or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that was always funny to me. And, he was always like the badass. So then all these other versions came out, and it's like, okay, yeah, they're all like, the same story, just kind of over and over.
It breaks the fourth wall a lot.
Yes.
A black sheriff. Hey, worked in blazing saddles.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. A lot, and that's the shit that I love, man. Mm-hmm. Self-awareness and breaking the fourth wall. But just like the whole idea that it's like Robin Hood spoofed. Honestly, that's literally it. When I first saw it, God, I don't know. I was a kid, to be honest, because like it wasn't any. It's not like a bad movie to watch.
No,
like, there's not anything crazy.
There's a few adult things in there, but maybe go over your head as a kid.
Exactly.
Like the whole chastity belt thing.
Yeah, like a chastity belt, and I'm sitting there going, "What the hell's a chastity belt?" Mm-hmm. Oh well,
she's wearing metal underwear.
Get her. Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. I wonder how that works. The idea of it. Yeah. But my favorite quote has to be Robin Hood going, "I lost. Wait a second. I'm not supposed to lose. Let me see the script." Because he always wins the the arrow contest or whatever, the shooting contest. So the fact that he loses and goes, "Wait, huh?"
Yeah.
And then let me see the script was the icing on the cake.
Number 4 is Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Oh, snap! We really didn't see each other's list.
I first saw it I rented the VHS. Yes, VHS from our local video store. I didn't know who Mel Brooks was at the time. I think that was probably the first Mel Brooks movie I had seen.
I agree with you. Yeah, I
just picked it out because it looked like something as a kid I might like to watch.
Corny. Yeah, it looked funny.
And and I also didn't know I didn't know what Mel Brooks, who he was at the time. Like I didn't know he's the rabbi in the movie. Like I was like, okay. Then years later watching, it's like, oh, it's Mel Brooks. Okay then.
Yep. And, this guy's funny. Interesting.
You're gonna find a lot of the quotes from these movies that I like are stuff I generally probably say in my daily life, or just spurt out randomly, and people look at me like I'm really weird. But my favorite quote is when Robin and his merry men want to cross the bridge, and Little John's there. Little John.
Yeah.
Dude. And we like to cross the bridge. It's like, well, there's a toll, and then it's like, if we don't get no tolls, then we don't get no rolls. I made that one up myself.
Just comes up with this whole rhyme, and he's going, I made that one up myself.
And my favorite scene is when King Richard finally shows up at the end, and it's freaking Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
Who I think at the time, he was, obviously, I think he was doing Star Trek The Next Generation, so he wasn't super famous yet, super famous, but to get Patrick Stewart in your movie, your cheesy Mel Brooks movie, that's pretty
quite the accomplishment.
Good achievement there to do that.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Good pick. Respectively.
All right, Brandon.
Number 3.
This would be your number 3.
My number 3 is Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
The thing I like about that is it's again, it's a take on the Universal monster movies, Creature of the Black Lagoon, Wolfman, Frankenstein, all that stuff.
rented one of the old Universal. I think I rented Creature from the Black Lagoon from the video store, and I was instantly hooked on Universal monster movies. I asked for Frankenstein and Creature of the Black Lagoon. I asked for the whole lot,
The whole,
like those series for Christmas.
And those
which I
hold
got.
up still. Those are still sometimes better
Yes.
than the shit that we get
Yes.
now. Like,
I think.
ugh.
I think
You don't
the
need
Creature of the
gore.
Black Lagoon is what started my love or love affair, my interest in brunettes.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where this was going. I'm like,
No, yeah, that's probably one of the reasons I like brunettes.
Wolfman was probably my favorite because that one scared me the most. But then, you know how, like, Jaws scared people in, like, what, the 70s, 80s? You know, like, going into pools and whatever. They were afraid of water, right? Creature of the Black Lagoon scared me because the idea of it, I believe, was that he was, like, you know, in a lake. We live right by a lake.
Right.
So, for me,
Is it like
I
a
grew up
hand
next
pop
to
out
a
of the
lake.
water
Yeah.
and, like, claw the rocks.
So
like,
anytime, you know, my
Nope.
dad would get me up and he'd be like, hey, we're going fishing. I'm like, hell no, I ain't going. Nope, I ain't getting eaten. So yeah, so like when I first saw it too, it would probably be about that same idea as Robin Hood. It was just, you know, young enough. It was actually a movie that my parents had on, you know, DVD. And they would watch it constantly. So I would always, like, as soon as I'd see it on, I'd sit down and, you know, watch and enjoy. So my favorite quote, it's a long one because it's a back and forth, but it's
Okay.
it's like a favorite quote mixed with a favorite scene.
Okay.
And I have it verbatim because it's a long one, and
Did you copy and paste?
I copied and pasted. Absolutely. That you gave me. Was it Hans Delbrooks? No. Ah, very good. Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in? Then you won't be angry. I will not be angry. I'd be someone. I'd be someone. I'd be who? I'd be normal. I'd be normal. By the way, it says dramatic pauses, so that's why I'm doing that. I said I'm going verbatim.
Calling is an accident.
Thanks, man. I'm almost sure that was the name. Huh. Are you saying that I put an abnormal brain into a 7.5 foot long, 54-inch wide gorilla? Is that what you're telling me? End of scene. How you doing? Thanks.
My number 3 is Blazing Saddles.
Ooh, okay. All right. Let's get into it.
Okay. Well, I first saw it on bought DVD.
Oh.
From our local media store. It was another one of those things like VH1's I Love the 70s. Did like, you know, a little blurb on movies from the 70s. It's like, okay, I'll give this a whirl. And you watching it, you know, it's like, okay, obviously they could not make that movie today.
No.
So I guess the quote that sticks out to me the most is, and now for my next impression, Jesse Owens. And they go For if you don't know who Jesse Owens is, look that stuff up.
Yep.
And then
Movie
my
just so
favorite
good.
scene, I won't repeat it, but it's when the new sheriff's coming to town and people realize, and they're like, the new
bell is going
sheriff's
off.
on.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the bell dings it out anyway, so
New
you're safe.
sheriff's a ding, ding,
He's a
ding.
what? Say it. He's a ding. What is he? Ding. What? And then he comes around the corner. He's just like, howdy, and they just give him that look. Number 2.
Yeah, you're number 2.
All right, let's get into
You
it.
surprised me with a few of these.
Yeah. Well, here's a big surprise.
Okay.
My number 2 is Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
So now that that's out of the way, so I feel better about everything. So, favorite scene? There's things I like about it, besides the whole damn dynamic. The first one is the scene where there's like a bunch of cowboys, or I think they're like bounty hunters or something. They're all sitting around a campfire. Now, as a kid, this is when I saw it. As a kid,
Of course.
they're eating
Yeah,
beans
of
and
course.
like shit in their pants.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! Even now, like farts are funny, dude. It still gets me. It still gets me. When I was a kid, I used to die laughing because it was so hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I still laugh. And then the second scene was, since you've already covered it, I'll just go for broke. Is the end scene where like one fight turns into a brawl.
Okay.
Where they're going across the scenes.
And they're like in the Hollywood lot. They're like in the studio. Like it goes from like it's like they're just okay. This
they
took
just
a
keep
weird
moving,
turn.
and then they go into like that part where like there's like a play, like a stage play or something
Okay.
going on, and then they break into that, and some guy's like, "How dare you!" Whack!
And doesn't one guy at one point like, "Hey, screw you! I work for Mel Brooks."
Yeah,
And
go to hell! I
punches
work
him.
for Mel Brooks, and just starts beating the shit out of him. Yeah, those are like the two scenes that get me the most. Quote. My
Okay.
favorite quote is Bart talking to Jim, which is, I can't remember Bart's actual name, but great actor. And then Jim is obviously, the late and great Gene Wilder. Represent Wisconsin. R.I.P. baby.
Really? I did not know he was Wisconsin.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a Wisconsinite. So Bart is asking Jim, he's like, what's your name? And Jim goes, well, my name is Jim. But most people call me Jim. It's just kind of a cheeky, like, my name is Jim. People call me Jim. And that movie was made in 1974, so, like, to have that kind of joke is kind of, I think it's funny. But, yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay.
All right, what do you got?
Young Frankenstein.
Oh. It's just like
it's one of those
Star Wars.
movies I think I rented originally. Of course, they own it now. I think I rented it around Halloween time because I'm like a huge Halloween horror movie guy.
Mhm.
I mean, I knew it was a comedy. I love it. I think I talked about this before a couple days ago. I know there's a musical, and I know you said you're not like a huge musical guy, but if
No.
the show ever came to the PAC or somewhere around here, I definitely would want to see it.
But if it was, like, including Young Frankenstein? Like, it was, like, modeled after Young Frankenstein, you mean?
the play,
Yeah, like the
musical,
Broadway part?
it is the movie, like made
Okay.
it for Broadway play.
Okay,
I mean,
maybe.
like the scene, like werewolf, and then like their wolf, and then there's like a whole, there's like a musical number, like for that whole like scene and stuff like that.
Okay,
So,
so I'm okay. You might have me there. I might go with you if you wanted. I might join that. But sorry. Anyway,
favorite
continue.
quote: "Come, walk this way." No, walk this way. So he makes him walk down the stairs like he's walking down the stairs. Favorite scene: "Are you telling me that I put an abnormal brain in a 7.5 foot tall foreign gorilla? Is that what you're telling me?"
Yes, let's go, baby. Which one was
You
better?
won't be mad. I will not be mad.
I could just give you the. I would just give you the scripts.
I condensed it down. You went for broke on yours.
Hey, baby. That's what I do.
Well, okay.
All or nothing.
If our number ones are not
I
the
was gonna say,
same,
you want to say? I was gonna ask you, like, do you want to just do a 3, 2, 1? We'll say it at the same time, and if it's wrong, well, holy shit.
Okay.
You want to, or do you want to just keep it subtle? Keep it how we've been doing it.
All right, we'll do it at the same time.
Okay, you count it down.
3
On 1 or after 1?
after 1.
After 1.
3, 2, 1.
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Okay. It's the most quotable of Mel Brooks,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's one of the most quotable ones from like the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Spaceballs was like what, 84 or
Had
80?
to have been 84,
83,
85.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So I think of the 80s, like there's a lot of good 80s films, don't get me wrong, but I think Spaceballs is like the one. So I guess, okay, I'll go first because that's what we've been doing. But favorite thing about the movie, favorite scene, favorite whatever, the whole damn thing. Everything about it. There's not one thing in there that just like, I could have gone without that. I mean, as Young Frankenstein, I also have a little scene for you. Because it is the best damn scene in the movie, in my opinion, considering there's a lot of them, So, it's the part between Dark Helmet and his laser gunner, okay? And then even Colonel Sanders. So, it's Dark Helmet starting off. Careful, you idiot! I said across her nose, not up it! Sorry, sir, I'm doing my best. And I believe that's the guy that's cross-eyed.
Right.
So, who made this man a gunner? I did, sir. He's my cousin. He's also cross-eyed. Who is he? He's an asshole, sir. I know that. What's his name? That is his name, sir. Asshole. Major asshole. And his cousin? He's an asshole too, sir. Gunner's mate first class, Philip Asshole. How many assholes do we have on this ship anyway? Entire crew stands up and raises his hand. Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Pulls the shield down. Keep firing, assholes. Done.
Merchandising.
Merchandising.
What is it you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising. Where the real money from the movie is. Spaceballs, the t-shirt. Spaceballs, the breakfast cereal. Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
The kids will love it.
And of course, Spaceballs, the doll.
He
Wish
opened
to
it.
be with you.
Oh, so cute.
Look at that put 'em. It's very hard to pick a favorite scene.
Yes.
I have it written down here, but I'm feeling I might want to change it.
Well, throw it out anyway.
Um,
Throw it out anyway if you want to change it. I mean, we're at the end, so piss on it.
okay, well, where they're chasing after Lone Star and but sir, they have hyperjets on that thing. What do we have on here? Cuisinart, which at the time I did not know what a Cuisinart was.
Fair enough.
And then ludicrous speed, go. My brains are going into my feet. And then they crash, and he's like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, fine.
How are you?
I'm taking a break. Smoke 'em if you got 'em." When they go to the diner and
They have the
they
soup?
get John Hurt back and pretty much reprising his role from
That
the
part's
Alien. You know,
That part's awesome.
what did he order? The special? That's what I ordered. And of
Check,
course he
please.
pops up. You know, oh
Hello,
no,
my darling.
not again.
Yeah.
And the whole hello my baby, hello my honey, hello my ragtime, yeah.
Now, speaking of gore not selling in horror as much anymore, that was a good one because that was like a surprise. Like, what the hell? Anyway, just had to cover that to, not sound like a hypocrite. But yeah, I mean, what part isn't good in that movie? I mean, honestly, there's just so much.
And I first saw it.
Oh yeah.
We in middle school, we took a field trip to Madison, and one of the fellow students brought that movie and Billy Madison along, and it was on a coach bus. So
Where did you go?
I went to Madison for a field trip.
Madison. Okay. All right.
And it was a coach bus, so they had players and TVs like every so many feet
Yeah.
over, and that's the first place I saw it. I had no idea what I was watching.
You said that was in middle school?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
You were probably in elementary school at the time.
Well, true, but the reason why I asked that is because when I was in middle school, I think it was 8th grade. Yeah, I think it was in 8th grade. We ended up going to Gurney Mills. We ended up going to Six Flags for like our last week of
Lucky.
school. Not that we were there for a week; we were there for like a day or whatever. But it was like the last week of school, and they wanted to do something cool. Well, here's the best part. So we were split up into 2 houses, right? Not Harry Potter. Go away. So one the one
may have
house.
just pissed off some Harry Potter
Just kidding.
people.
Love you people. Just kidding. I'm a Hufflepuff. Don't be mad. I stayed at the school and like camped out on the grounds, like in the football field. While the other house, which is what I was in, ended up going to Six Flags. So
Right.
as we're leaving, we're like, hey, pulling some Mr. Beans. So the 2 movies that we had on the way down. So you had Spaceballs and Billy Madison. We had Tommy Boy, and I forgot what the other one was, but.
I think we might have had Tommy Boy too. I think we started watching Tommy Boy and we weren't quite to Madison yet, so they started putting on Spaceballs.
Nice.
And then we finished Spaceballs on the way back, and then they put on Billy Madison to finish. And I'm surprised they let us watch those movies. on a
Dude,
field
Tommy
trip.
Boy, same. Like, there was a point. Do you remember the part where they're at the hotel and
Oh yeah, and
Chris
then
Farley walks away to go get like food
pizza
or whatever?
something, and the
Yep.
girl there, and
Yep, the girl, and he's like,
Spade's character's like,
"Oh,
go
go ahead, nobody's watching.
Are
Speed
you
up, no
like,
one's
you
watching."
kidding me?
Yeah, as soon as
Yeah.
she was starting to undress, all of us were like, all right. Even the girls, we were all like, nice, let's do this. Teacher's like running up, she's like, fast forward, okay, we're good, and we're all like, I just want to die now. Oh, we're driving off a cliff. But yeah, so that's what got me thinking about that. That's why I was like, wait, middle school, wait, bus, wait, movies, what?
Hey, we may have been both the Star Wars in concert, but we were not on the same bus at the same time going to the
It's true. Yeah, you went to Madison, I went to Gurney, baby. Well, you said that's
That's
over.
the end of our show.
It is. We love you.
Dear. Well, thank you to everyone who popped in. I was a little worried we wouldn't.
Get anybody?
Hold on. Somebody said yes, that was the best school field trip ever. The 6th grade Six Flags trip.
They know what they're talking about. They know what's up. Yeah, good job. Who was
Someone
that?
you know?
Maybe. What's the
Possibly.
name? So they can get shout out too.
I can't pronounce it. Tightener. I don't know.
Oh, that person. Okay. Oh, they stuck around for a while then.
Mhm.
Cool. So tight.
All
But
right.
yes, it's been a pleasure. It's been fun as always. And
But,
thank you for everyone that came out too, and the ones that even engaged.
Yes, I am Corey. This is Brandon. I hope you enjoyed watching us talk about Mr. Brooks. I will be wearing this t-shirt for the rest of the day.
Yeah, me too. What the hell? I'm going to hang out with some cousins later, so we're going to Badger Sports Park. So I'll be like, yo.
Are you?
Yeah, they're too young to understand, so it'd be a good like little slap in the face for them. It'd be like, learn your culture, you uncultured swines. But yeah, it's been a pleasure as always. Been fun. Thanks to everyone that came out. And are you gonna do the sign off?
No, I think we'll let. I think we'll let them do the sign off.